All right. So we're good to come out of closed session.
Do we have a motion to exit closed session?
Move to leave closed session.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Okay, motion to certify.
I move to certify closed session.
Second,
Second.
motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Chair Miller?
Aye.
Vice Chair Travis? Director Farrell?
Aye.
Director Broughton?
Aye.
And Director Elliott?
Okay, thank you, you're in closed session. Moving on to general business.
Falling Branch Corporate Park Phase 2, Site 2. Again, this is, we have 2 sites left. Essentially, Lot 7 has been sold and construction is going on that property. So there are 20 acres that we're selling, and then of course Lot 3, the 20 acres we're grading. So this is kind of the picture that says it all. It's finally a graded pad of 20 acres, and they're working on paving this week. So they've made significant progress. We've had a really good fall weather, but they've finished the water line and town's accepted it. Street lights are in. Town of Christiansburg and DEQ approved the pump station design, so that was fairly smooth. Grading is complete and topsoil and seeding, and they installed 10 inches of gravel, and paving is supposed to begin Thursday. I went by there yesterday, and they're moving all their heavy equipment to the very front to take it out on machinery. So working with Atmos Energy to install the natural gas line. That's just taking a little more than I'd like, but we'll get it done. So the 13th remittance is only for $30,000, which was because they have been grading, mass grading. And we had a reduction of $31,000 from in a change order. Basically, the town of Christiansburg and most localities require as-built plans, and they have to be very specific. And the contractor just basically said they'd like to hire H&P to do it. So we took it out of their contract and included it in H&P's contract with us. And the big item left, of course, is paving with the $300,000. But again, here's where we started. This is the southeast view from the site. Everyone was so worried about the topsoil. We actually have a slight deficit of topsoil, but we had a excess earth, so we just basically moved dirt from one pile to the other.
That's what it's there for.
So it's gone very well.
Are they paving the road or the site itself? What are they paving?
They're lovely. So Parkway Drive. Come back to this one. So FedEx built it out to roughly here in the red line, and then they're paving all the way down Parkway Drive to the cul-de-sac at the end of the property. So long-term, town of Christiansburg is asking for funds to pave it all the way to North Franklin. Thus far, they have not been funded by VDOT, but they requested funds. It's in their 6-year plan. So that is, when they quote-unquote pave the road, they won't be substantially complete. Again, go back to the list and start looking at every little item that they've missed that needs to be cleaned up. Substantial completion stops the penalties. That's for 30 days. That's why it's important.
Have we had anyone interested yet? Any inquiries?
We have had inquiries, as always, up and down 81, we hear a lot of distribution and other items, and others that we've discussed in closed session. But it really seems like if you're not doing certain activities, nobody's really building. It's too expensive to build. It's hard to, the existing buildings are going very quickly, and that's our biggest deficit. We don't, I think our biggest building in the county is maybe 25 to 35,000 square feet. And so what we're seeing is if you have an existing building or a very, very large 100 to 300 acre property, then there's some interest there. Remember, Google has announced in Botetourt County their data centers.
And because we use the Go Virginia grant, the expectation is that whatever goes here will be in one of our target industry sectors for the region, right?
Yes, I mean, you know, the goal, advanced manufacturing, transportation, so forth,
Materials.
Yeah. advanced materials. One item we can't support it right now is food and beverage. Much larger natural gas usage. Okay. So in working with the Virginia Tech Corporate Research Center, there's been a number of Go Virginia projects that have asked for our participation. So the CRC is working on what they call a Regional Initiative for Startup and Enterprise, Project RISE. And basically, they're trying to bring back KnowledgeWorks, or a version of KnowledgeWorks with more R&D. So again, a space for aspiring founders, provide technical assistance and commercialization funds, deliver annual workshops on training, and host annual pitch events. It's very similar to RAMP and Roanoke, but geared towards the university and Virginia Tech and the CRC. So their Go Virginia request is $648,000. Montgomery County, if Go Virginia were approved, is doing $60,000 over a period of 2 years as appropriated by the board. And then of course, they're leveraging their existing building and total project budget. So this is the first major grant outside of the economic development, federal EDA they've done. My understanding is it's made it all the way to the state representative and for approval there. The other project we've been asked to be a part of is the Blue Ridge Innovation Corridor. So this was started in 2024. Basically, they're trying to go all the way from Giles County through Roanoke back down to Franklin County, Martinsville, and Danville. It's Go Virginia Regions 2 and 3 coming together as one, as they want to call it, the fourth economic engine. You know, you have Northern Virginia, you have Richmond, you have Hampton Roads, and this group is trying to do a strategic plan for Go Virginia Region 3 and 4. It's a fair, right now they're gathering support letters and they've hired a consultant to do it. It seems like this has been kind of heavily out of the south side area, but if we can get into a strategic plan that promotes advanced manufacturing, life sciences, and defense, then I think it would be a good thing. But at this point, they are hoping to submit towards the end of October.
What is their request?
Their request, my understanding, is about $600,000 for the strategic plan. They're already working with consultants, I know. But
You're paying $600,000 for a strategic
I don't have the
plan?
whole, I don't have all the information. Ours is $10,000 should it be accepted.
They're asking for $10,000 from us to
Yeah,
put
that's
towards the $600,000
But-
strategic.
The Halifax County is looking at putting $100,000 in. So basically what I saw was a 1-to-1 match.
I didn't know they had that kind of money.
They have a
Okay.
foundation, is my understanding.
Right. Doctor's settlement.
What's the advantage of something like this? I'm trying to, I mean, it's gotta be something tangible, I would think.
Basically, it's that
Must be
first
part of the
bullet.
strategic plan.
So we've had the Advanced Materials Manufacturing Initiative, AM2 grant that came out of the federal EDA. And that's kind of where it really focuses heavily on regions 2 and 3. Let me pop this down and pop this up. So tying regions 2 and 3 all together. Don't want to go to Cardinal News. The benefit is the advanced manufacturing. We have MELD in our area, and they have other companies down in Danville, especially at the research. Trying to make sure I get the name right. The Institute for Advanced Learning and Research. They're doing Navy contracts there, learning how to weld, make parts for submarines and other things. Very specific work. And they're doing a lot of training at that institute. Quite honestly, if we could get something that workforce development related, it would be great in the future. But they are doing a lot of training and everything from welding to machining parts, and then some of the soft skills. But they're building another building onto the institute. Right now it's at 3, I believe. And they're just looking for a strategic plan for the whole region. And what I'm hoping is region 2 and 3 can come together and work as one, because we do have all advanced materials.
So in other words, if somebody said, well, we've got a process we're gonna locate for some reason in Martinsville, but there's a great facility in Montgomery County that might tie into this, and maybe we could split up the manufacturing, something like that, so you have some coordination.
When Richmond and Petersburg, they were successful in the Tech Hubs application, it was saw that the life sciences would actually probably occur in Richmond, and then down in Petersburg is where the actual manufacturing might occur. Right now, there's been a bunch of plants announced around Richmond for biotech.
So perhaps something like R&D could happen over at Blacksburg, and then manufacturing maybe down towards Whiteville.
Yes, sir. Try to
And
bring
the
the strength
community
of both
colleges
regions
in the
together.
region do training programs to serve those people.
For sort of that industry, yeah,
And then they
okay.
probably also see what other assets are needed in this region to get a company to move. Maybe they need to build a new building or a clean room or something like that. So it's a lot of asset mapping and then pulling together.
Do you know, slightly off topic, but what happened to the Rolls-Royce initiative around Petersburg? They were gonna set up a engine manufacturing plant around Petersburg. This was like 10 years ago. And I never hear anything about it now, but I know,
They did build a plant. I know it's on the other side of Richmond, and they do test engines at the Virginia Tech Corporate Research Center.
yeah, but there was gonna be a huge investment in Petersburg by Rolls-Royce, starting in K through 12 education to educate a workforce just for them. So did that ever happen?
That I'm not aware of, but I could research it and find out exactly what the details was.
Well, I mean,
as promised.
It's not really germane to this, except that it's similar.
Very similar.
I don't think it ever happened. Now, it may have not happened because the world changed and Rolls-Royce didn't have, for whatever drivers that they had at the time, maybe this never happened or something, but they were gonna tie into Virginia Tech for the engine manufacturing expertise and the test facilities. And they gave a lot of money to Virginia Tech to get access to the wind tunnels and all that. And then they were gonna build this huge factory and R&D place between Petersburg and Richmond somewhere. Because I remember my son went down there and was employed at a graphic design company for a while. And there's all the talk you could hear down there when he was going to rent an apartment was, just wait till Rolls Royce gets going. And we'll all be good then, right? Never happened.
Part of the good thing about this is it's all distributed, it's not dependent on one company. The idea is there'd be lots of companies. You're not just waiting on Rolls-Royce or a Volvo or whoever it is, but I get that. People get excited beforehand and then sometimes we gotta track through and see, did that actually happen?
Yeah, and the thing is, it happens when it's gonna happen anyway. I mean, you can help it, but you can't really start it. It has to happen for a real reason.
Yeah.
And then you can encourage it, but, well, I mean, this is all good, if it helps him. You know, maybe it will.
Our last item for today is broadband. Let Carly take it. Making some very good progress.
Yeah, so there are 321 miles of new gigabit fiber placed in Montgomery County as part of VATI 2022. There are now 1,124 serviceable passings, so that brings the county to 2,444 total with the first project. And then AEP segment updates. The Lead Mine Childress segment is complete, and splicing had not started last week, but it may have now. It was scheduled to start soon. They've made good progress on the North Waxburg Tri-Cities loop, completed the Plum Creek loop, and splicing's in progress there. Made good progress on the Prices Fork loop. The Reiner loop has been complete for a while, and splicing is in progress there. And then I don't know why they had to go over the anticipated amount of mileage for the underbuild, but they did, and they are currently splicing on the west side, and then they're also waiting, there's a railroad crossing there that they're waiting for flagging, so to be scheduled.
What is an underbuild?
It's like, I guess, like the main build that everything else stems off of is my non-technical way to
You have the electric lines, and below that you have your communication section. And so there might be a main fiber line that's running through your area, but you can't tap into it. So the underbuild actually connects into that main line and brings it down so it can be brought to the house. And that's a basic description.
Thanks. We just hear it all the time. I'm just like, accept it now, so.
You know, it's interesting, and I'm sure that this is the reason, but Chantel started laying fiber all over the place, and they weren't going to before. In fact, they've been marking in my neighborhood recently to put some fiber in the ground. And they know they did it. I don't know what the Reiner loop is exactly. My son lives in Reiner, and he was told that they were going to have optical cable available at his house there. And it wasn't Gigabeam, it was
That's right.
Chantel.
And somebody else is competing in that area too, I think now.
So a little threat of competition, really valuable
It's not a
thing.
bad thing, yeah.
We've got fiber right now and we're thinking of changing it because it's so dang slow in the town of Christiansburg. I think it's not what they advertise, so it'd be good to have some competition so these
Yeah.
companies can deliver what they say they're gonna deliver.
Right.
Yeah.
Without competition, nobody worries about how fast or how slow.
Yep.
And it's gonna connect, is it 10,000 homes, is that right, Carly?
Over 10,000.
Didn't town of Christiansburg just recently do a contract for Chantel? I saw it on the agenda for a town council meeting.
They did.
Oh, Reed
So I don't know, I don't know what that was exactly,
Yeah.
but if it
Is it a
extended
franchise
monopoly, I don't know.
Yeah. They had one for Comcast and now they've done one for Chantel as well.
Okay,
Blacksburg did the opposite.
is that right?
It was Comcast, but Chantel's
Is there any public feedback yet on the extensions of the fiber to the parts of the county?
Like customers or what?
Yeah, or, you know, so I'm glad you finally got here, or it's a,
We actually, DHCD came and visited last month. Was it September 27th, something like that? They came last month. And Brian, Angie, and I, as well as some Gigabeam and AEP and Gudenkoff and DHCD representatives got to go meet with a customer in Echo Hills. And he said he has worked remotely for like 20 years or something like that. And like dial up and then Starlink, and now he has Gigabeam and stuff, and he was really pleased with it. I don't know what his job is that he's been working remotely for 20 years, but
and he's doing that without a fiber connection. That's
Yeah.
wow, that's amazing.
It was impressive, and he talked about, I think he had been connected for 60 days, is that right?
yeah, that sounds
And he
right.
said that he had had no interruption in service from Gigabeam. He could, like, his power had been off sometimes, but his fiber service was consistent, and he had never had that. He was really pleased with that, and that it could be in that, I don't know if you're familiar with Echo Hills, but it's up the side of a big hill, and it's underground, and so they got the fiber run to those folks' houses without the individuals having to pay for the underground connection. They were really, really pleased with that.
To Joe's point, yeah, it'd be nice to know like some of those impact stories, but then also some other things, like here's how many more people are connected, and here's what they're able to do with it. I'm sure you're gathering some of that, but I'd like to
Yeah.
also share that.
Yeah, they are definitely, DHCD likes to keep up with the take rate. And I think typically, I don't know, I wanna say typically the take rate's like 70 to 80% on these projects, and we're not like close to that right now, or like even close to gathering that information. But yeah, that's something the state definitely wants to keep track of too.
Yeah, we'll share that with you when we get it.
Good stuff.
Anybody have any other questions before we adjourn the meeting?
Is that it? Okay. Next meeting is November 18th. See everybody then. We'll be adjourned.